like a very specific kind of restaurant. I'm a 39-year-old elder millennial from Portland, Oregon. I only like restaurants that proudly advertise themselves as being farm to table. Oh, yeah. Which is a very silly thing for a restaurant to say. Because that's where they grow food. And that's what you eat it off of at every restaurant. Arby's is a farm-to-table restaurant. It's a gross farm, and the table is bolted to the wall, but it's farm-to-table all the same. When I say farm-to-table, I mean something very specific, okay? I mean a farm that is owned by a nice lesbian couple who left finance and bought a goat. And when I say table, I mean like a door that used to be on a very old church that they've taken down and kind of fashioned into a banquet-style seating arrangement where you sit around it with 6 other couples who you don't know, you didn't come with them. And you all talk about the same 3 A24 movies all night. Yeah. When I go to a restaurant, I want the drinks and the light bulbs to be in mason jars. Do you understand me? I like restaurants that have an ampersand in the middle of their name. They cannot spell out the word and. It has to be a cutesy little ampersand, right? It has to be like Turkey and the Wolf. Or the Girl and the Goat. I would eat at Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Every time I go to a restaurant I like, the server comes over and they say the exact same thing. They say, "Have you dined with us before?" Because we do things a little bit different. Never once has it been different. Never once has the server been, "Have you dined with us before?" Because we do things a little bit different. Now take your shirt off and get in the kitchen. You're making me dinner. Never. I've never ordered the onion ring tower that comes out on a man's erect penis, right? Like, and he stands there while you eat them, and if he goes soft before you finish, they fall on the floor. That's on you. Never. I've never ordered the charcuterie board and it comes out, and so does Marina Abramovich. You know, she like sits across from you. It makes hard, emotional eye contact the entire time you're eating.
And my mom growing up was also somebody you did not want to cross. My parents got divorced in the 90s, back when there were home phone answering machines. And before the divorce, our answering machine message was my dad saying, "You've reached the Cooks, please leave us a message." And then after the divorce, my mom had changed it to her just blasting Alanis Morissette's "You Oughta Know." So every time my dad would call, my mom would let it go to the machine so that if he wanted to leave a message for her, every time, he first had to sit through the lyrics, and I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away.
You ever wear your mask and then someone smiles at you while you're wearing your mask and then you smile back at them and then you're like, what are we doing here? We're just wasting wrinkles, you guys. Did you know when you smile, it creates wrinkles? I just heard about this, you guys. I can't be getting wrinkles. I'm an actor here in Hollywood. I'm still trying to get cast to play a high school student. How dare you? I could play a high school student and you're gonna agree with me in 15 seconds. Hear me out, okay? Disney Channel show, okay? Disney Channel original series, okay? Teacher talking to her student in the front row, okay? Billy, you didn't do your homework again? If you don't do your homework, you're not gonna graduate. You know what's gonna happen if you don't graduate? You're gonna end up like that kid right behind you, and then cuts to me like, I could play a high school student. Thank you so much.
I don't know if any of you have ever changed a boy's diaper or have seen an elephant bathe itself in a river. Same principle. that's the difference between having kids and not having kids. It's like, oh, I have pee in my hair. And not, call 911! It's pee! It's pee! So I turn around to get a napkin. My back is turned for about 1/8 of a second. I've done this before, you know? So I turn around, and by the time I turn back, he is grabbing his junk. And I don't mean like pocket pool waiting for your taxi or lift. You know, like Hercules trying to tear the skin off a serpent. I literally went involuntarily. Did a full curly. Honey, the baby's trying to pull his cock off. I don't know how you want me to play this. And I had to say something because I didn't want her to come in and find me fighting with her son over his penis. Hey. I can explain. He wanted to touch it. It's a good thing I was here.
As a New Yorker, I travel a lot more now, and like the more I travel, the more I'm starting to see New York a little differently, and I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, you travel outside of New York, you start to pick up on things. Like, that first day back is rough. I get back, I get off my flight, I look around, I'm like, it is kind of nasty. I don't want to feel that way about my city, man. But I go to other places and I'm like, there's no trash around your trees. Where do you guys keep your trash? In bins? That's disgusting. I don't touch my trash.
Jeff Bezos, are we fans?
Somebody asked you if you are a fan of the greatest human being living on the planet. You go, yes. This is the last time I'm performing this show. I've performed this show over 100 times. It's not your fault. Every time I come out and ask you fuckers, the public, if you're a fan of Jeff Bezos, I go, yeah. Fuck you. Jeff Bezos is the only thing that gives your life shape and meaning. You're pissed out of your mind at 3 o'clock in the morning, you want a paddling pool, Jeff makes sure it's there the next day. You're there going, yeah, I don't like it, yeah.
The level of ingratitude is disgusting. Because I told you earlier I went on a spiritual journey and I've been on a quest. I have been on a quest, so you don't have to. Because you're busy, aren't you? You've got things on. You can't go on the quest, so I went for you. Because it's important, because we are living in biblical times. I don't know if you noticed, but this is it. You're living in the Bible. You are. And not the fun bit at the beginning. Not when they're having fruit and fucking each other. The bad bit at the end. Plague, pestilence, war, famine. Here you are. Living in the final chapter, and the prophets walk amongst you. And I'm sorry, this isn't the answer I wanted to give you, but I did the research. Turns out, it is the straight white male billionaires.
I'm sorry, that's not the answer I wanted to give you. I went looking. I tell you, mate, I wanted to tell you something else, but it's true. It's the straight white male billionaires. Jeff Bezos. He's Jesus Christ. People have been bollocking on about Jesus Christ for 2,000 years because he turned water into wine. That's one product. Jeff will turn your desires into anything. He spent his entire life removing middle management from society. His name's Jeff Bezos. Take the middle out of that. It's Jesus. It's so clear, it makes so much sense. Jeff Bezos is Jesus. Musk is God. Steve Jobs is the Holy Ghost and Branson's the Virgin Mary. It makes so much sense.
now there's a mental health crisis in young people, right? And I am not taking that flippantly, okay? I think the mental health crisis in young people is real. I do not think the Gen Zs are a weak generation. In fact, I think that the mental health challenges of young people are infinitely greater than anything I had to deal with in my adolescence, right? And I know that they're struggling because it comes up on my TikTok algorithm because as somebody in recovery, TikTok has decided that I care about well-being and mental health. So I see these teenagers and they're like, guys, we're really struggling and we need to practice mindfulness and meditation. And I think it's great that they are talking about mindfulness and meditation as teenagers. But it does entertain me because nobody, when I was a teenager, mentioned the word mindfulness. And do you know why that was? Because we were mindful half of every fucking day because we didn't have a choice. We didn't have a fucking cable service in our fucking pocket. Yeah? You waited for somebody, you waited. Mindfulness. Yeah? You were on the bus, you're on the bus. Watching condensation drip. Mindfulness. I didn't realize I was like a fucking guru before I got a cell phone. You want to return a VHS? You got to rewind that shit. Mindfulness. Have you ever rewound anything in your life? You are the post-rewind generation, and I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that there were times where we were forced to be with ourselves. You know, I used to take a shit. Just shit. I can't remember the last time I just took a shit. It was definitely over a decade ago. Because now I am so addicted. That used to be like me time. You know, that was everybody's like, yo, this is me time. Don't bother me. You know, on the throne. You know, now sometimes I'll be running home. I'm so addicted to my phone. I'll get home. I'll make it to the bathroom. I'm like, wow, I just made it. And then I realize I left my phone in my jacket. I'll pick my pants back up. I'll go back outside. I'm like, oh my God. I was nearly with myself for 2 minutes. What would I have done with my thoughts had I not been able to swipe on my Instagram for 2 minutes while I'm in the bathroom? So it's no wonder there's a mental health crisis in young people because they've never actually had a fucking second to be with their feelings. So every now and then when they get 10 fucking second window into their soul, they feel something and they're like, ah, what the fuck is that? And I'm not judging them. Because I'm the same now. I get to the bathroom, I'm like, who can I call? Who can I call? Lest I should be with myself for 2 minutes, who can I call? Which is never a good idea, because your phone call is always longer than your shit, so you're stuck, not able to flush, because the person on the line will know that you were taking a shit while you were talking to them. Huh? Unless, of course, you marry a millennial who's better at technology than you, and she lets you know that you can mute the phone, flush, and then walk out of the bathroom. Only the most perceptive friend will be like, hey, it was echoey a minute ago. Were you taking a shit while you were talking to me? There's been an acoustical change.
I'm very self-conscious about my weight. I weighed myself the other day at 7 a.m., prime weighing time. Women know what I'm talking about. Prime weighing time. And it was a high number on prime weighing time. And I told my friend, and my friend goes, well, you gotta weigh yourself naked. I was legitimately insulted. Seriously, I'm mad bringing it up right now. I was like, dude, do you think this is my first fucking rodeo? Are you kidding? I'm always naked on the scale. I invented being naked on the scale. Are you out of your mind? It's a fine process. I'm naked. I just took a shit. I shaved all my pubes. I have 1 foot off the scale. Even at the doctor's office, when the nurse tries to weigh me, I'm like, I'm getting undressed. You can stay here or not. But this is happening. I'm getting undressed. I'm gonna take a poop and then we can do this, okay? Because I'm not gonna weigh myself at 4 p.m. Fully clothed? Are you out of your fucking mind? You wanna ruin my entire month? And definitely not at the doctor's office where they always put you on a scale that looks like the first scale ever invented. Are they ever gonna upgrade that shit, ever? You know what I'm talking about? It's like a pole with weights on top. It's the same scale Archimedes built in the year 1. It should be in a natural history museum, but instead it's in every doctor's office. And it sucks, because it doesn't even tell you the weight. You stand on it like it's the scales of justice. And then the nurse stands behind you, looks at you, guesses in her head just how fat a piece of shit you are. And then does these mathematical calculations that take about like an hour and a half. Like, all right, 150 plus 50. You're fatter than I thought. Don't worry, we'll get her on the second try. I always get her on the second try. 150 plus 90. All right, hey, you're less fat than my second guess, but you're still more fat than my first guess. Don't worry, I have a formula to get to my third guess. I'm like, can you just get out a digital scale for the love of God? Can we please stop playing The Price is Right with my fats? I'm glad you all laughed at that. Because I did that bit, I swear to God, 2 weeks ago in Birmingham, Alabama, and it bombed completely. Now, it turns out it is very hard to do fat jokes when you're the thinnest person in the room. There was a real disconnect. The joke did not work. I'm like, I'm so fat. I look out in the audience, half of them are in wheelchairs. I swear to God. Man, you're not fat, you can walk. In Alabama, you're either fat or you can walk. Those are the two designations. Talking about being fat when you're in perfectly good shape. I fucking hate when hot people use body positivity. Fucking hate it. I went to the doctor recently, and my doctor told me that I can no longer even sleep safely. My doctor told me that I have a condition called sleep apnea. And this is after every woman I've ever slept with telling me that I have sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a condition where you snore so bad that not enough oxygen gets into your brain. Basically, I have a condition where when I fall asleep, I turn into a pug. I can't even sleep unsupervised. The one thing we let babies do, unsupervised. And this makes me sad. It depresses me. But also, if you think about it, it's a story of human triumph. It is, right? Because I've become such a chubby little guy that I broke the system. I have become comfortable beyond God's foresight. Right? God was up in heaven like, I will create a creature that sustains itself on an equal measure of eating and sleeping. And one of the angels was like, but God, what if they get so good at eating that they can no longer sleep? And God was like, spare me your philosophical riddles, angel. I have created perfect balance. Yes, I have created plentiful food, but I have also created famine and war and winter and wolves. And the entire time we were down here on Earth like, what else can we put in the pizza crust? Oh, no, 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 no. But we have also solved sleep apnea now. Because I have a mask, I have a device that I can put on at night that lets me sleep safely at night. It's called the CPAP mask, and it's a full face mask where I put it on. I look like a fighter pilot on a mission to never have sex again for the rest of my life. Ever. It's the least sexy thing on the planet because it's a mask with a hose that connects to a box. If that's on, it's off. You know, like... It doesn't look like it's time to get down. It looks like it's time to say goodbye to Pop Pop for the last time. And I worry about that. I worry about what's going to happen if I die in my sleep while I'm wearing that mask. Because that means that my ghost will also be wearing that mask. We all understand that, right? Your ghost is wearing whatever you were wearing when you die. That's science. That's hard science. And I'm going to have to explain that to other ghosts. And many of those ghosts will have died before the invention of the CPAP mask. So they're gonna think I died doing something cool. They're gonna be like, oh, okay, all right, I know you got a good story, man. What happened to you, dude? What happened to you, dude? He died in 1830, but he still talks like this. What happened to you, dude? Oh, dude. Dude, I drank a hella poisonous tonic, dude. That's what happened to me. What happened to you, brother? Were you like a undersea welder or something? What happened to you, man? What's with the mask? Were you like a fighter pilot? No, too big. All right, what were you? What was going on? I'm gonna have to be like, oh, no, nothing like that. I had so much fudge that my body forgot how to sleep.
When he and I got together, we had that conversation about labels, because I felt ready to be called boyfriend and girlfriend, and he goes, being in my 40s, I feel like I'm a little old to be called somebody's boyfriend, but if you call me your man friend, it sounds like I'm not allowed in your playground. I was like, all right, well, what are you gonna call me? And he goes, I'll just be like, this is my lady. And I was like, well, we're not at a Renaissance fair. So no. Also, I can't use the equivalent of that. I can't be like, Mom, Dad, I'd like you to meet my lord. And he's also a comedian. My ex-husband was actually a comedian too. I can't stop shitting where I eat. No, I'm just telling you. My love life is a Chipotle. Just keep the eating and shitting all under one roof. It's very convenient, very farm to table, you know. They're right there. And I wasn't much of a jealous girlfriend in my 20s, but then some switch flipped in my 30s. And now when I see somebody hit on the person I'm with, I just feel myself anamorph into the cast of Jersey Shore. I am ready to brawl. And he does get hit on. When he walks on stage, women whistle at him. And at comedy clubs, there's usually a security guard in the back to kick people out in case they heckle. So at his shows, I've just started to stand next to the security guard. And if I see a woman laughing too hard at one of his jokes, I just walk up and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. He's my favorite comedian. Well, he's my lord. Scoot, beat it. I feel like most people assume I'm exaggerating during that joke, but if you follow me online, you'll know I posted a video a few months ago of a woman who sat in the front row of one of my shows, and after I told that joke, she goes, your boyfriend is my favorite comedian. We've seen him like 8 times. And I was like, lady, did you not just hear that this is when I go snooky on somebody? What are you doing? And she doubled down. She's like, he's so cute. He's so hot. And he responds to my Instagram comments. And that's when I took out my hoop earrings. All the men in the crowd were looking around like, Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. It's like, yeah, time to fuck around and find out, madam. Get up here. I don't actually worry about my boyfriend cheating on me. I feel like men's bodies start to really turn on them in their 40s. He has to wake up every 2 hours in the night to pee. And when I see him in the morning with bags under his eyes, I hug him and I go, babe, I'm sorry you didn't sleep well. And then I think, You're too exhausted to cheat on me. You're not getting enough REM to pull off 2 relationships. I like you slow like this. Can catch you if I need to. Get back here. But now the second I see him start to reach for melatonin, I'm like, the fuck are you resting up for, huh? You stay sleepy. I don't usually mind our age gap, but there is that new filter on TikTok where couples are posting pictures together, and then a filter goes across the screen, and it shows you what you'll look like together in 50 years. Like it ages you. So I did that with a picture of me and my boyfriend, and when the filter went across the screen, it just made him disappear. It was just me holding an urn. I was like, what? No, please. And my boyfriend was like, I want to see the picture. I was like, oh, my phone died. And so did you. What am I going to do? He does hate that he looks older than me. He's been trying to get me to look older faster. I think he wants to, like, microwave my face. On my birthday, as a prank, he hid all of my expensive skin creams, and when I opened my bathroom cupboard, there was just a pack of cigarettes. Like a tanning bed coupon. Well, be careful what you wish for. You're gonna wake up next to Mick Jagger. I have been telling my single friends that they should date somebody older than them. It's the best. They got their lives together. They're financially secure. My boyfriend has a lake cabin. You think I give a shit that he has a fake hip? I don't. I don't need somebody to be able to jump rope to get me wet. I'm riding on a jet ski. I'm coming 5 times on that thing anyway. My boyfriend shows me his credit score while we're on the jet ski. I'm like, oh my God. Our neighbors are like, wow, look at all the water coming off that thing. I'm like, that's not water, Diane. That's all me, baby. Happy 4th. Peace be with you.
But that's the family I grew up in, you know. I have 4 older brothers, okay? 3 of my older brothers, super fun. Life of the party. One of my older brothers, kind of a hard ass, bit of a bully. When we were kids, he would beat us more than our parents. That's just wrong. Now, guess which one of my brothers became a cop? So I called him by accident. You ever call the wrong sibling? I was like, hello? Like, oh. Now I gotta think of something to say. So like, well, kids. He has kids, I have kids. We get that out of the way, 5 minutes. Hey man, what's going on? Just checking in, seeing how you doing, you know? Just got Nellie, that's my youngest daughter. Just got Nellie your last set of vaccinations, so she's all caught up. Yeah, we're not gonna be doing that around here. We're gonna keep our DNA intact. Now, my brother knows my daughter is adopted. I have 3 daughters. They're all from China. Because I'm terrified of my DNA. And I'm so why I don't understand how it can be in this day and age that an educated person can be against something as fundamentally beneficial as a vaccine. And then it hit me. You know why they're against it? Because other people are for it. The end. That's it. You just have to be for something, and they'll show up. It's all they have. It's what they do. Go online tomorrow morning and just quietly post, "I like French toast." Check back in 20 minutes.
Fuck French toast! Breakfast of the privileged? What else do you like for breakfast? Genocide? Where do you work?
But his reasoning drives me crazy. I get vaccinated. I don't know how it works. Right. That's why we went out and got some people smarter than you. So we can have fun stuff like open heart surgery and airplanes. I don't know how zippers work. But every morning I put my faith in the science. Leave the house fairly certain I'm not going to be in line at the bank with my dong out. It all comes down to fear. It's just fear. I'm afraid I'm going to get sick, so I want everything you have. I want pills, I want shots, I want surgery, I want everything you can give me. But my brother, he's much smarter than I am. He's an independent thinker. He thinks what all the other independent thinkers think. That the government, the same people in charge of the post office and the DMV, are also behind a massive global genetic super conspiracy that I will believe when I can buy one stamp in under 45 minutes. Some people just don't want to be told to do anything by an authority figure. It's really weird when they're cops. But you'll have to work that one out for yourself. But you know where he gets it? He gets it from our mother. When we were growing up, my mother, she would smoke, she would drink, she would take any pill she could get her hands on, unless it was prescribed by her doctor. Then she had big problems. Could have been prescribed by your doctor. We could have been at your house and she found some pills. Those would be down like Skittles. But God forbid it goes, I really think you should take a slow down, Big Pharma. I found some mushrooms growing under the bridge that I read about in a witchcraft magazine. I'm gonna give those 6 to 8 months, see if they work. And if not, I'll set my leg the way you think I should. And you know who is just like my mother? My wife. It's true. I can't get away from this personality type. I am going to be dealing with this for the rest of my life. I'm a comedy writer. I'm a very cynical person. My home is full of crystals. And my wife will approach me with a crystal and say, "Sweetheart, whisper a manifestation into this crystal." I understand that marriage requires compromise. Mine is, I have to pretend I'm a wizard. But if manifestations worked, we wouldn't have any crystals. Because that's all I ask of them when we speak. Are you guys a couple down here? No, who's a couple? Anybody in the... No one? No couples. That's my draw. A lot of guys my age who walk without moving their arms. Well, to begin with, Voyager isn't in the Kelvin timeline. So I can't believe you're so stupid, too. It's common among couples that when you go out to the store, like you'll come, go, "Hey, honey, I'm at the store. Do you need anything?" And then the person that gets that call says what they need. In my theory, the person that gets that call, you get 6 words. "Hey, I'm going to the store. Do you need anything?" "A latte from Starbucks. Thank you." "Some potato chips would be great." "Nell wants more frozen waffle sticks." Boom. 6 words. Cat, Mrs. Gould, bless her heart, I don't even call anymore. I was like, "Hey, honey, I'm going to the store. Do you need anything?" "Oh, yes." "Gosh, thank you. Yes, okay." "I need you to go to the nature well, but not the nature well convenient to our home. I need you to go to the Nature Well Annex. It's by the cargo hangar of the Van Nuys Military Airport. Now, there's a guard shift at 4 o'clock. From 4:03 to 4:11, there's no one in the shack. Drive right through. You'll hear a siren, but ignore it. No one's coming, I promise you. Drive all the way down to the last hangar on the left, but don't go in the front door. It's open, but there's an infrared scanner and you'll be sterile. Go around to the back. There's a bulkhead. Go down. Keep going down. It's going to get very dark and very cold and very wet. You're going in the right direction. You'll see a small shaft of light. Open the door. You should see several middle-aged Asian women in their underwear ironing money. You're going in the right direction. Keep going down. On the right, you'll see the annex. Ask for Paolo. If he's not there, wait, but don't make eye contact. I want a green apple smoothie. But instead of a smoothie, see if they'll make it as a juice. But instead of apple, I want kale hearts and a turmeric extract. Actually, better idea. Are you near a penitentiary or cattle ranch? Anything with the kind of fencing where I could get electricity into lemons? No! I'm not doing this. Because I'm home now. I've been home for 20 minutes. I I emptied the dishwasher. Because you don't know how to ask for juice. But you might be saying, that's okay, she can get her own juice. No. Because if there's one thing I can tell you about people who only eat health food, they are sick every fucking day. They are sick every fucking day. The sun pierces the veil of night, and they don't feel good. If I had to cast people with the plague for a movie, I would get any shift from Whole Foods. Any shift. Just, their skin is all sallow, their hair's Tim Burton, they're too weak to point. Where's the deli? And they get so butthurt. So we were at a restaurant. We were at a vegetarian restaurant. Lot of people. I didn't know all of them. And I did. We're there, the group, and I made the mistake of casually mentioning I was not vegetarian. And this one dude. Most people are cool. One dude. What? You'll eat a steak? Yeah. Oh, but you don't want to watch them murder the cow. Nailed it. I love my brother. I don't want to watch my parents fuck. You don't have to drag everything back to the point where it's awful. Everything is awful eventually.
COVID was like a universal trauma that we all shared. What a crazy time. Everybody's life changed. Things changed for people. I became a mom during the pandemic. I had a baby. Which is wild. Thank you, most of you. I realize I get a different response depending on lifestyle-wise and generationally, who's in the crowd. If it's older people or people with kids, they'll be like, woohoo, you made a person. But young single people, y'all be like, I see all your trauma come up to the surface. I'm like, I said, I'm a mom, not your mom. I didn't do it. But I get it, because we're having different conversations now, right, about parenting. Right, we're getting into it, man. Parenting conversations are changing, and they should. We have some archaic views on parenting that I really think need changing. Like the belief that it makes or breaks you as a woman to have a baby. No, it doesn't. If you want to have a baby, have a baby. You don't want to have a baby, don't have a baby. It's nobody's business. It's ridiculous to think it's anybody's business but your own. But I will tell you this, anytime I've met a woman that doesn't want kids, that is the first thing she wants me to know about her. The second she finds out I'm a mom, she's like, I don't want kids. Cool, I wasn't offering. I was talking about my favorite subject, which is me, and then you interrupted me with some you, which I did not request for this. But I respect it. I respect it when a woman knows she doesn't want to have kids. I do. I think it's a good thing to know about yourself, and I think a lot of people would have been spared bad relationships with their mothers had they known they didn't know what they were doing or feel like they wanted to do it even in the first place. And I wish more people were that aware, right? Sometimes it's a bummer, I'm not gonna lie. I'll meet a person who's a really good human being and they don't wanna have kids, and I'm like, damn, I really wish you did, because I wish there were more people like you know what I mean? And then sometimes people be like, I don't wanna have kids, and I'm like, that's probably the best for everybody. I don't think you should have houseplants. I don't know if you know how to love, bro. We're having these different conversations that I feel like are so important because we're talking about things that definitely people that grew up in certain generations never heard of, right? We're talking about toxic parenting, right? We never heard that growing up. And let me tell you something, like I said, I'm Puerto Rican. I guarantee you nobody's cornered the market on toxic parenting like Latino parents. Woo! Man, oh, look at us trauma bonding. It hurts so bueno, doesn't it? I'm telling you, man. We put the tra in trauma. That was us. That was all us. It was just Alma, we spiced it up. That's why we have to talk about stuff like toxic parenting, because a lot of us didn't even realize we had toxic parents until we looked over our childhoods with today's guidelines. I thought I was safe. I was like, nah, I love my parents love me. What's that? Yeah, they hit me. Every day. But only when I was doing kid stuff. Let me see that list real quick. Let me look real quick. Saw all the information they know now about raising kids, and I was like, oh no! I need so much therapy. Like, that's wild. I hope there's a punch card. Trying to explain therapy to Latino parents. Look at that, look at that. Look at that. That hit you right in the trauma, right there. Like, whoop. Man, I was like, I cannot sana away depression. Not how that works. If you don't know what sana is, allow me to explain. For those that don't know, Latinos have this thing that we say when like little kids get hurt. It's a little rhyme, make them feel better, you know what I mean? Sana, colita de rana, si no sanas hoy, sanarás mañana. You're all healed. One time my husband was like, can you translate that? And I was like, nah. Nah, man. Anything you translate from another language into English always loses something. Because the other languages are often so poetic, especially Spanish, such a poetic language. And if you translate it, it just loses all validity. Because translated, it's save, butt of a frog. If you don't heal today, you'll heal tomorrow. It's just passive-aggressive witchcraft. That's all it is. That's all it is. Save, butt of a frog. You have to say it in Spanish or your children will have nightmares. Like, you can't. It's such a crazy time to like be a parent because we're doing things so different, right? Like now you can choose your parenting style like you used to choose a Mortal Kombat fighter. Our parents only had one style. It was survival. That was it. They just had to make it through. But we chose conscious parenting, me and my husband, conscious parenting, which is annoying. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's annoying because it's not permissive. It's literally realizing every way in which you affect a tiny human life. And you have to be so aware of everything, and it's so hard because you want to fight them. You know you shouldn't. You know it's not their fault, but you find yourself getting frustrated at the craziest things. Because I would just be like, why can't you use a spoon? Give my son a spoon, he's like, no, you crackhead. It's just yogurt everywhere now. And the stakes just get higher and higher as you go along, what you have to teach them, what you have to be patient with, because now we're at potty training. Literally, there was one time my son made full-on eye contact with me as he pooped on my living room floor. And as a conscious parent, I was like, Way to listen to your body, little man. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? He's a kid. He doesn't know any better. What do I roll up a newspaper, bang him on the head with it, push his face in it? No, bad baby. I would call the cops on myself if I did that. I'm like, you gotta come get me. I finally broke. But here's the amazing thing about conscious parenting that they don't tell you. You learn as you do it. The more you consciously parent your kid, the more it heals all of your crap. Yeah, it really does. Because you end up parenting the way you wish you had been parented. I found this out in the moment with my son because we do affirmations every morning. I know, it's adorable. Don't get it twisted, it's Snoop Dogg affirmations. I want to thank me. No, it's a great affirmation. No, Snoop Dogg has a kid show. If you don't know, it's amazing. Yeah, right? Doggyland. If you don't know about it, watch it. He plays a character named Bow Wizzle. You're welcome. The songs all slap. You're welcome. So we were doing our Snoop Dogg affirmations, and my son has that cute little toddler voice, you know what I mean? Like that, like I was like, say I am strong, and he's like, I am strong. Like say I am brave, he's like, I am brave. And then I felt it, like all the stuff I didn't get. You know what I mean? In that moment, I felt that. And like, before I knew it, I was like, say I am loved. I gotta call your grandma. I didn't even see that coming, man. And it's so crazy now being a boy mom. Because the microscope is on us, man. We are underneath such a microscope, everything we do. And I'm fine with it, because I think if we change the game, we could really change how things work out in the world. I really do. I don't mind it, you know what I mean? And my girlfriends were on it right away. The second they found out that I was having a little boy, they were like, it's all up to you. You gotta fight the patriarchy. And I was like, can I teach him the alphabet first? I can, I just gotta be real intentional with it, you know what I mean? Like, A is for accountability, B is for bodily autonomy, and C is for consent. Repeat it to mommy. You have to be aware of these things, you know what I mean? And I think the thing that's hard now is that there's so many opinions on parenting now, and you don't know where to go, you know what I mean? And as a parent, it can be hard to take the opinion of somebody who like doesn't have kids, for instance. I found myself getting frustrated at people that would give parenting advice that don't have kids. And I felt the way that a lot of parents do. Like, if you're not living this life, how do you know what to tell me to do? Until I realized the reason why I should listen to these people is that they may not have kids, but they are coming from a perspective of a person who experienced a certain type of parenting. And I really had to think, what would my son say about my parenting? And what would I want him to say about my parenting? Not all of it. Some people are dumb. Don't listen to everyone. Because I did have a girlfriend that was like, you better raise him right. And I'm like, what did you think the plan was? What did you think? I think I got pregnant and I was like, I will raise him evil. Go forth and destroy my child. Of course I want to raise a good human being, but I also don't like being told what to do. So the second she said that, there was a part of me that wanted to be like, nope. I was gonna, but then you had said what you said. Now I gotta make sure he has a misogynistic podcast by the age of 7. Just sitting there with some big old headphones like, as a alpha male. And I'm behind him with my problematic boy mom self like, that's right, baby, these hoes ain't loyal. It's just me and you forever. I could never be that mom. Can never be that mom. There was a lot of things that I saw people doing that I knew I wasn't gonna do as a mom. Like the one thing I don't do is boys will be boys. I don't do that with my son. It's too permissive. There's no equivalent for little girls. So I don't allow it. And you know, the parents that I've seen do it, it gets out of hand real quick. You just know it's gonna snowball to bigger things, like boys will be boys. He stabbed the babysitter. He's a boy. He's learning to express himself. And I know you're not supposed to judge other parents, but I do. I do. Only when I see them doing things that are detrimental to their children or to parenting in general. I can't help but pick up on that now. Like there was a woman who put out a video and it went viral. And this was the whole video. She goes, I'm gonna teach my son how to cook so your daughter can't trick him into a relationship with her cooking. First of all, don't nobody want your dusty son. First of all, don't act like a basic skill is something to brag about. And second, how long you been out the dating pool, ma'am? What do you think is gonna happen? You think I'm just gonna leave a trail of empanadas that lead to an altar? And he's gonna be like, oh no, I'm married. What kind of idiot did you raise? There were so many things, and when, me and my husband, when we talked about how we were gonna do this, that we decided we were just not gonna do, right? And there were certain things we promised ourselves that we would do. Because there was a lot to consider. Not only do we wanna raise a good human being, but also, my son is multicultural. Like I said, he's mixed. He's half Puerto Rican, half white, hard tea. That Midwest white hits different, you know what I'm saying? Like I know there's white people here, but if my husband walked in, even y'all would be like, that's a white guy. Like, you'd be like, I'm white, but that's unseasoned chicken that just walked through the front door. That is level 10 white. Don't y'all come for my porcelain king. There's a couple guys in the audience that are like, porcelain king. I'm gonna use that later. But I had to think about that, man. Like, my son is mixed. Or as I like to say, his DNA's been colonized. That is my favorite way of saying it. Because people are always like, wait a minute. She snuck in history. I have to think about that, though. Honestly, as the mother of a mixed child, I have to think about the fact that a lot of his childhood is going to be me explaining my half of his makeup and the history of those people. And I know he's gonna have questions, because all kids have questions, and I'm petrified. Because I don't know if you've heard the level of questions these children are asking, but these are Jeopardy level questions. And I am, quite honestly, not prepared. I'm just waiting for the day where he's like, what happened to the indigenous people of the Caribbean, Mommy? And then I just look at his dad. This is your time to shine, sir! My poor son is walking around like, I come from the oppressor and the oppressed. I'm the problem and the solution. Oh. I'm like, that's right, baby. Also, don't take no blankets from daddy's side of the family. If you got that last part, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Because the amount of times I'd looked out at an audience of people that's like, what's wrong with their blankets? What's wrong? What's the thread count on the blankets? I'm proud of my son. He's doing great. He speaks English and Spanish. And yeah. Humble brag. And really, look, if you're in the audience and you're Latino, Latina, Latine, Latinx, any of them, and you don't speak Spanish, that is okay. It doesn't make you lesser. It doesn't mean that people should make you feel lesser. I spent a lot of my younger years so judged because I didn't speak Spanish well enough for the people around me that I just stopped altogether and didn't learn till I was older. And here's the thing, I'm also third generation. And if you're third generation, then you know what I'm talking about. By the time I came around, everybody had assimilated already. So English was the norm in our household. When my parents were growing up, it was different. They spoke Spanish only inside the house. But that's because at that time, there was something called a gag law, where Puerto Ricans could not display a Puerto Rican flag or speak or sing any patriotic songs. So it was dangerous to speak Spanish outside of the house. So for me, I didn't speak it in the house. Only spoke English, so I learned it from all of my coworkers when I started working. And all of my coworkers were Mexican. So my Spanish is very confusing. Because I'm a Puerto Rican who speaks Spanish with a Mexican accent, but uses Puerto Rican and Mexican terminology. My Spanish sounds like what a ransom note looks like. Like, people who are fluent in Spanish hear me speak Spanish and they're like, where are you from? I don't know, man, I'm trying to figure it out. My son does, he speaks Spanish, but he's nervous in Spanish, so he like whispers in Spanish. I know, it's adorable and creepy, huh? Kids do not know the rules of whispering, so they just like do it whenever. I'll be like washing the dishes and behind me I hear, siete. Mommy's gonna burn some sage now. Try to get the demon of Columbus out of you.